What's going on, YouTube? And welcome back here to another day in the MC Parks, the Walt Disney World one-to-one recreation here in Minecraft. And today we are taking a look at a little bit into the Pirates of the Caribbean, but more importantly, the new neighbor of the Pirates of the Caribbean. It is going to be a brand new bar and lounge, which will be coming over here in the future. And we now have the official name of what this bar and lounge is going to be. So it's going to be right in this area, and it's going to be called the Beak and Barrel. And this is the PR message from Disney. So basically, going back to 2023, we had gotten from the Destination D23 event that there was going to be a brand new bar and lounge coming to Walt Disney World, and two of them, in fact. One was going to be here in the Magic Kingdom at the Pirates of the Caribbean. The other one, which will be opening this year, GO84, which is going to be in Epcot, the Spaceship Earth former Seamen's Lounge. That is going to be the other one that opens this year. And just a quick run through of what we kind of expect here. It's going to be coming in late 2025. That's the latest from Disney. So at some point in 2025, whether that's November, December, October, somewhere in that frame, we expect to see this brand new bar and lounge come into the fold. Probably before the holidays. I would say that's probably where Disney wants it, to have it ready for that time. Now, unlike the GO82 lounge at Epcot, this Pirates Tavern will be available for everyone of all ages. So that was a really controversial thing. The GO82 lounge in Epcot is going to be for 21 plus aged members only. Anybody can attend this one. And I think that's a good thing, especially for the Magic Kingdom. I think it's better that Disney allows, some of the younger people to go into these areas, because I think it's harder to grow a fan base when you don't have children going into these areas and being enveloped in these worlds. Walt really pushed the idea of, families doing these things together. That was such a big part of Walt's message. So if you have areas that are exclusively for kids or exclusively for adults, you're really taking away really what Walt wanted and his vision of Disneyland. And I think that's something that Disney really has to be careful with, how much they try to separate families on their family vacations, and I don't think they'll be popular. I do worry that GO82 is probably going to have issues, because I think a lot of Disney things, I think that was a big part of why, Pleasure Island struggled, was because, it was not family friendly, and that's why they went the direction they did with Disney Springs, because it was more family friendly, right? Like, you can bring the kids and the family all together, and unless you had the grandparents or family, other friends tagging along, it was really difficult to do those adults only things. And Disney really has to be careful with how they toe the line with that. So this first of its kind experience will extend the story of the ride, including the return of the Barker Bird, also known as Pegleg Pete. And this is an iconic character from the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction, who used to appear on a perch that was visible to visitors passing through Adventureland. And that was over here in the front of the attraction. There used to be a Bootleg Pete little animatronic bird right up in this area here. So the story behind it is that it was established by pirate rum runner Captain Meridian, or Mary Goldwyn, and her first mate, Rummy. Rummy serves as the tavern's quartermaster, keeping an eye on the place from his roost atop the bar. While he's retired from the pirate's life, Rummy is a dutiful crewman to Mary and will share tales of piracy or lead the bar in a rousing toast. Rummy will share a striking resemblance to the original Barker Bird. So that is kind of interesting. So it's not the actual Barker Bird that's returning. It is, I guess, a relative of the Barker Bird, of Pegleg Pete. So it'll be Rummy. And I think this is fun, because this reminds me a lot of what we kind of have with Trader Sam's, like an interactive, like maybe if you buy a certain drink, like the Pirates beer, maybe there'll be like a flash of lightning, or you'll see Rummy do something that, only for people that buy the pirate beer get to see in the room. I think that's something that could be really fun. And I think the improv from the actor is really going to be a big part of this as well. They really need to make sure they cast this well, because this is seemingly something that's very, this is something that really fits Disney's alley of theming. And what's really interesting is this goes really similar to what Walt originally wanted with the Tiki Birds from the Enchanted Tiki Room. The original concept from the Enchanted Tiki Room was that they were going to have the animatronic birds and during a dinner show. And this isn't necessarily that, but it is very eerily similar in concept. And maybe this concept will work a little bit better for the guests in 2025, right? It kind of a passing by thing like Trader Sam's. You come in for a half hour, maybe an hour, and then you're on your way, right? And that way you could kind of get some turnover. And it gives you a reason to come back, because there might be a drink that's available now that wasn't available back in the day. And I think that's a really important thing in this attraction too, is I think Disney's got to be really, they have to be proactive in changing things, because I think once you've seen it, you've kind of seen it. Once everyone sees what the pirate beer, does with Rummy, well then it kind of gets stale. Like, Disney's gonna have to continue to update this, change little segments and scenes just to give people a reason to come back. I think that's gonna be a really important thing in this whole redevelopment of this area, and this sort of a homage to Walt's original Tiki Room concept. There's more to the story here. Here you'll spot a large bar anchoring one side of the room, cobbled together with salvaged portions of a cursed shipwreck. At its center, there's a skull-shaped stern with a collection of grogs and brews, such as the enchanted rum bottle. This was gifted by Mary and the enchantress Tia Dalma, and serves as the source of the tavern's specialty brews. And then you have the captain's quarters. So, like I said, the location, it's going to be by the Plaza del Sol, which is this area we're looking at right now. Ooh, I don't know if you guys saw the emojis, but yeah, this is the location that it is going to be served at. And a lot of people were thinking that it was going to go in this area where the Captain Jack Sparrow meet and greet was going to be, or maybe even over here. I just don't think there was enough room for Disney to put it in here. So they decided to go with coming over here, which I do think was the right decision. I like that they're expanding this land a little bit and giving this area a little bit more substance. I think this is an area that's a little bit odd to a lot of people, because it's kind of the brink between Frontierland and Adventureland. And obviously the original concept for this area was the Big Thunder Mesa. So this kind of was, an afterthought. So for Disney, this was an area that, they never fully expanded the idea, but I think right now, adding this bar, it's the happy medium. Disney's going to make a lot of money off the bar, but they're also adding a very well-themed experience. And as long as this is an area that, as long as the animatronic works and is functioning and isn't continually going down for maintenance and isn't working, that's going to be really the key for Disney finding success with this bar. Because let's be honest, the main reason people are going to come here, they want to see the animatronic. They want to see the interaction between the actors and the guests with Rummy the animatronic. So Disney's really got to make sure they do this correctly. They give this the proper soft opening and make sure they work out any kinks before it goes to the public, because Disney's been a little bit notorious recently for a lot of animatronics not working. I love that Stitch hat there on Prickle Pear. But anyway, that's going to do it for today. Let me know what you guys think down below. Are you guys excited for this Pirates-themed bar? I think this is going to be a fun concept for Disney. I think there's a lot to work with here. There's a lot of different elements hopefully they can add to this to really make people want to go out of their way to come back here and not only ride Pirates of the Caribbean, but to also check out this brand new kind of bar dinner show. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. As always, stay tuned for every Monday and Friday. We post new videos here on the channel, so stay tuned. And I'll catch you guys again next time. Have a magical day.